One thing that tariffs did affect, I think it put everybody on hold. We really didn't know what was going to happen. They used to employ thousands, and it's quite a bit smaller now. I avoid layoffs at all costs. You know, small shop, small town. Yeah, there's some sleepless nights. And this is an older Kitamura that we've had. They've put their heart and soul into it. It's very simple. Just take care of your customers, take care of your employees. By far, our most valuable asset are the people here. It's the largest machining center that we've ever had. I hope so.
Yeah.
That'd be great.
Not much room in there, but great for a lot of small parts, right?
We could buy a fancy machine, but again, if you don't have the people, a little boring bar. For a small shop, that's a big money saver.
And it's a huge commitment, right?
Huge commitment.
Are you here 5 days a week?
I'm here 5 days a week.
6 days a week?
Sometimes. My name is Jason Davies. I'm from Journeyman Machine in Fond du Lac, Wisconsin. This is our machine shop. We're a small job shop. Customers send us blueprints. We machine parts to their spec. We don't have a product line or anything like that, so we need to be very versatile with our equipment and talent.
Now, most of the work you do, is that from local industry?
It is mostly local. We do have some customers that are maybe like an hour away, but primarily we work with companies in town here.
Yeah. Gotcha.
Larger OEMs.
Okay. Like Mercury Machine, do you do any work for that? Or Mercury Marine, right?
Yes, Mercury Marine, Giddings and Lewis.
Cool. So. Nice. So did you start the business?
No, I didn't. The business started in 1976 by a man named Mike Lambeseter. I started here in 1998, working with him directly.
Yeah.
And then he retired in 2011, and I took over for him.
Okay. So you run the shop, you own the shop?
I own the shop.
Okay, cool.
A lot of our employees, a lot of them have been here longer than me.
Oh, really?
We've got a lot of experience. They've been here 20, 30 plus years.
Okay.
So
that helps.
Yeah, when you say running the shop, it's kind of like a group effort because we've all been here so long and we work together and everybody kind of overlaps. So it's kind of unique that way.
You started working here and then you bought the business from the gentleman that started it?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Yep.
How long did you work here before you bought the business?
I was here approximately 14, 15 years.
Oh, okay. Nice.
Yeah.
So you had a really good understanding of everything before you bought the business.
Yeah. Yep. He was a good teacher.
Okay.
Yeah. A good guy. Gave me a lot of experience. Kind of, he was real hands-off. He just kind of showed me what to do and let me make mistakes and go on my own. So
nice.
Yeah.
So let's just look at your machines, I guess.
Sure. This is our smaller Campro.
Okay. So it's the 1050B. So you got the 31 inches of Z on it. Do you often use the high Z, or is that just
quite often actually?
Really?
We a lot of times get weldments in that are kind of tall, and so yeah, we do. The high Z is very helpful.
Yeah. Off the top of my head, that Z is actually higher than the 1600, isn't it? Or it's pretty close?
Pretty close.
Yeah.
Pretty close.
Yeah. You like the Campros?
Yes, they're very good.
How long have you had this?
This one has been here about 4 or 5 years.
Okay. Yeah.
We bought that one after a couple of years after that one.
Oh, okay. So you started with the 1600.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one replaced another larger bed.
Okay.
Machining center, but we needed the size for longer parts, and because, like I say, we get into a variety of things. No matter how big of a machine we get, we always seem to find something too big to put on it. So
you need a bridge mill.
Right.
Has Jeff tried to sell you one of those?
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, those are good. You have Campro, Doosan, Kitamura, multiple other machines. Like, how does the Campro stack up with the other big names?
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we haven't seen any, quality or reliability issues.
Accuracy
is good.
Yeah.
Good.
So, have you had any issues with the Campros?
A few little issues, but Campro's been real good about standing behind it, so can't really complain on that.
Okay.
And when we look to buy equipment, we kind of look at, value, like
Okay.
package value, quality, price, kind of, and come up with a decision that way. And these fit real well with that.
Yeah.
So,
Were you looking at, I'm assuming you were looking at other machines?
yes.
when you-
We looked at, I think we looked at the Smart Machine, Kent. Then there were some higher end ones that came in, like the Mori and things like that. But for price and value, these seem to fit our needs.
Right.
And there's a lot of competition in our area for machining, so we need to keep our overhead and costs low.
Right.
And the Campros help with that.
Yeah.
For
Good.
sure.
Nice. Do you stick with a certain brand of tooling, or kind of just use anything?
We use anything.
Yep.
We've got a lot of Sandvik, some Kennametal,
Okay.
Mitsubishi.
I used to be a Kennametal guy. I also used to work for Allied Machine and Engineering, which makes Criterion now.
Okay.
So I was a tooling guy before I got into the machine tool sales.
Okay.
But yeah, cool. Yep. We got the Doosan. So is this a single spindle or?
Yeah, that's a single spindle.
Okay. Is that a 12-inch chuck?
I believe that's a 12.
Looks like 12 three-setter.
Yeah.
Cool. That's just okay. Yep. It's not a live turret, just a chucker machine.
Right.
Yep. Cool.
And this is an older Kitamura that we've had. I think we got him back in 2007.
Nice. You buy it new?
Yeah, bought it new. It's been rebuilt in that time, and
Kitamura is a good name.
yeah.
They're heavy machines, right?
They are.
Yeah.
They're. You definitely pay for them though.
Yeah. That's a 50 taper, right?
Yes, that's a 50.
Okay.
40 by 20, 50 taper.
What's the RPM on this one? On the spindle?
I want to say 8,000.
Okay. I think that one would be 6,000.
That
right?
one's 6.
And is this a geared head?
Geared head.
Yeah. Yeah. You guys do some real heavy cuts?
We do.
We do big 50 tapers?
Yeah.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah, we have. Yeah, here's an example of some weldments that we do once in a while. And
yeah. Cool. Okay. So how long did you say you've had this one?
this has been about 6 or 7 years.
Okay. Nice.
And it's been real good. It's the largest machining center that we've ever had.
Right.
And it really opened up a lot of capacity and a lot of opportunities for us.
Right.
We run Gibbs cam.
Okay.
We do some repeat work, so they're able to just pull programs out, when the jobs come back. Or there's similar parts where they can copy a program over and just edit it.
Right. So the simple ones they just do on the machine. They just program right on the machine. Mm-hmm. Okay. And then these guys that are running the machines, they know how to do it CAM software as well.
Yes.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah.
Cool.
It helps because we have short run jobs, so they're setting up and tearing down 2, 3, 4 times a day.
Right.
So the fact that they can just grab a job, program it, and set it up and go, that's
probably
crucial.
hard to find guys that can do all that stuff.
It is. It is. Yeah. By far our most valuable asset are the people here.
Right.
I mean, the equipment is good and all, but having good people, that's our most valuable asset for sure.
So are you always having a hard time finding people, or you kind of got a good crew and you're set for a while?
We've got a good crew now for our workload,
Yeah.
but it is hard to find people.
Yeah.
The best luck that we have is through word of mouth. Sometimes people here will know somebody at another shop, and if they're not happy there or traveling to get there and want to come closer to home.
Right.
But that works out the best.
Yeah.
We've tried going through different agencies, and it's
Like headhunters and stuff.
yeah.
Have you ever gotten kids out of like the local tech schools or anything?
We did. A few years ago, a kid started right out of high school. He was actually in class with my daughter, and he came in, looked around, and said this looked interesting, wanted to try it.
Right.
And he's still here.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Yep.
That works out.
So yeah, that was nice.
But another kind of word of mouth, right? I guess it was your daughter's friend or something?
Yep. Yep. And I've known him since he was little, so
yeah. So you know if he's a good kid or not.
Yeah. So
cool.
Yeah, it's kind of unique. You know, small shop, small town. You get to sometimes those opportunities work out.
Yeah. Yeah. You got a little bit bigger lathe here, huh?
Yeah, we have a long bed there.
Okay. How long can you turn? Do you know?
That is, I want to say 80-inch.
Oh, like 2,000 millimeters, I'm gonna guess.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? Yeah, so that would be right about 80 inches, right?
Okay.
Because that's a 1050, and that's millimeters, is 40.8 or something.
Yeah. So yeah, that does all our larger turning and longer turning.
Yep. Nice. Just a manual.
Yeah, we have a manual for just quick punch in a hole, or
you guys use this quite a bit?
not a whole lot,
No.
but when we need it, it's
right.
nice
You
to
gotta have it. Better than setting up a CNC. What is this? Is some fixturing organization?
Yeah, this would be just different blocks and fixturing.
Yep.
Then
Kent.
Yeah, the 4020 Kent.
Okay. Is this a linear way?
Yes.
Okay. And do you notice a big difference between the linear and the box way machines?
Not really.
No.
I mean, the box ways are definitely more rigid.
Yeah.
You can do heavier cuts and things like that, but the linear works well for a lot of parts.
Yeah.
To be honest, just take lighter cuts, but it's faster, so
right.
it kind of balances out.
Yeah. Especially for the bigger part runs, I guess the speed helps you out.
For sure.
What would be like a big part run for you guys? How many parts?
Our bigger runs are maybe 200 to 500 pieces, but it doesn't come up too often. Usually it's 5 or 10 or 20.
Okay.
We have our surface grinder here.
Okay.
I believe that's a 16 by 30.
Do you do a lot of parts that need to be ground?
We do, yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of spacers.
Okay. Is that for thickness tolerances? Do you need a real tight tolerance, or is it a lot of surface finish tolerances?
Primarily thickness.
Yeah.
Yeah. Surface finish, a little bit on the surface finish, but primarily the size, thickness.
Yeah. Has the tariff thing affected you guys at all?
It hasn't.
Oh, really?
No.
Yeah.
We really didn't know what was going to happen.
Right. You seem surprised.
Yeah. I thought steel prices and things like that were going to go up.
Yeah.
But, the only thing that has gone up is aluminum.
Okay.
That's the one thing that I would say maybe got hit by the tariffs a little bit. But
I wonder where is that coming out of? Do you know?
I don't know.
Yeah. How much has it gone up?
We don't do a lot with aluminum. It probably went up 20-30%.
Yeah. It's not nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would have thought it would have affected more people, actually.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
If that's gonna solve the problem he's trying to fix with that, but anyway.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
It is.
To hear it's because some guys I talk to, they're like, yeah, good tariffs, bring back my work.
Mm-hmm.
Other people are like, make my material more expensive.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I will say the one thing that tariffs did affect, I think, are our larger customers or their customers.
Okay.
I think it put everybody on hold.
Right.
Because business has been real choppy and uneven.
Right.
We'll have a busy week and then it just kind of goes quiet.
Right.
So I think the sooner they get everything settled and the bigger players feel more comfortable,
Sure.
everybody will kind of do better.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, it'll be interesting because Trump just took the tariffs off of China for the next 90 days, right? Mm-hmm. So I wonder if it'll be like a big buying spree.
I hope so.
Yeah.
That'd be great.
I mean, maybe people will be like, who knows what's going to happen after 90 days, so just go nuts.
Yeah, get it in now.
Pull forward, but.
And then back here we have a lathe small machining center cell area.
That's a
Yeah.
cool little machine. Man, not much room in there, but great for a lot of small parts, right?
Yeah, we do a lot of small standoffs, and you know, so the parts are only inch long or less.
Right. Do you use this chip parts caster?
We do.
Yeah, cool.
Use that all the time in the bar feeder.
Oh yeah.
So
Bar feeder's awesome, right? You fill it up and go home.
fill it up, and then it kicks the parts out, and then if there is a secondary operation, you can bring them over here, and he turns the blank over on the lathe, and then does the secondary operation over here.
This is a well-kept footall. For how old is this machine?
That is probably about a 2000.
Okay.
Yeah, it's been here quite a while.
Is this control like retrofitted on here?
It was.
Okay. I was gonna say I don't think I've seen footals with a Fanuc. That's cool.
We had to wait quite a while to get that. It was a special deal.
Yeah. No, that's cool.
It's got a little fourth axis that we leave right on there for quick parts that we need to throw in there.
Right. I noticed. I was gonna ask you about this. You use this. You like that quick change system? The Sandvik quick change stuff?
Yes, it works out really well.
Yeah. You pay for it, right? But
Pay for it up front, yeah. But it, back here it works well because they're setting up and tearing down quite often. So
right. When I worked for Kennametal, Kennametal had some competitive system,
yeah,
which never, it was KM, never took off as much as Capto. But anyway, I get the idea of it.
Sure.
Cool.
Sure.
Not a ton of shops use that.
Yeah. Yeah, and then over here this is our newest machine.
Okay.
Smart with sub-spindle live tooling.
Sweet.
This was a kind of a new venture for us here.
Yeah.
But it's worked out really well.
Cool.
And again, we're fortunate to have somebody here that could run it for us.
Yeah. How you doing?
That makes all the difference in the world. We could buy a fancy machine, but again, if you don't have the people.
Yeah, that's the problem.
And
you got a bar feeder on it. Nice. When did you get this machine?
Probably three years ago.
Oh, really? I would have guessed it's newer than that. You guys keep it in good condition.
Yeah.
Nice and clean. Cool.
Yeah.
Do you use this bar feeder quite a bit?
Yes. Yeah. Back here is where we run the higher production runs, our tool room area.
Oh, horizontal boring though. That's cool.
Yep. Old boring bar. We've always kind of talked about upgrading this, but it's hard to find one small.
Yeah. This is one of the smaller ones I've seen.
Yeah. I mean, of course, we'd like to get a bigger one, but we're kind of
space constrained, right? Do you know how old this machine is? What year this would have been built?
I don't. We'd have to ask Andy. He would probably know.
Yeah.
We bought it used, and yeah. Before this, we had an old Giddings and Lewis bar. I think that was from the 40s.
Right. Yeah, some of those old machines are really good stuff still.
Yeah.
Because the castings are great, and you can't find them like that anymore.
And it's amazing how advanced they were, for the time.
Right. And you got to think what kind of equipment they had to do that. It was like, I can't even imagine how they did that stuff.
Yeah.
Like the drawings, everything was drawn by hand, and you had to make it.
Right.
It's amazing.
And they hold up.
Right. So G&L was right close to here, right?
Yes. Yeah, they're just right across town.
Okay.
And we've had a good relationship with them for many years.
You do work for them?
We do, yeah.
Okay. Nice. They're still making machines there?
Yeah.
What type of machines are they doing now?
They do VTLs, floor bars, horizontal boring machines. Okay. Very, very large stuff.
Yeah.
It's quite impressive walking in there.
I bet, yeah. I didn't know they were I don't see a lot of huge machines in my area where I'm from, so I don't see a lot of G&L stuff, but it's good to hear they're still making machines and stuff.
They are, yeah.
Are they as big as they once were? Like,
no.
Probably not. Yeah, I didn't think so.
No. They used to employ thousands. And,
right.
It's quite a bit smaller now.
Right. Yeah.
But they're still doing well. They're
good.
Still make good equipment, and
it's good that some of that is still made here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. This material storage back here.
Material storage.
Okay. You have this all organized a certain way, or you just kind of lay it out?
We paint coat it so we know what the material is.
Yep. Nice. What material are most of the parts you make? Some kind of steel, or it just varies a lot?
It varies. We do a lot of stainless steel lately.
Oh, okay. I guess all those 316
Yeah,
stuff.
a lot of short ends of stainless.
Yep.
But we do a lot of mild steel.
Okay, like 1018 or
1018.
836 plate or something.
Yeah.
Okay.
We've got computers set up. That's where the guys do their programming.
Okay, nice.
Drills, taper shank drills, taps, flat drills, reamers, various end mills. Then we have the tool boss that we got from MSC.
Cool.
That's been real nice. Before we got that, Andy would have to sit down and go through it by hand, and where this, it'll order once a week, and we always have the common use items on hand. Let's see, withdraw.
Okay, so if you wanted to withdraw,
we'll just try a carbide end mill, 1/8 inch end mill. Issue quantity 1, withdraw, and the drawer lights up, and there's one left in there.
That's pretty cool. What are these things for? Is it for like an old milling machine, right?
Old milling machine. We used to have a horizontal milling machine, and those would go on an arbor.
Right.
And they were just different size milling cutters, saws.
You still have that machine, or?
No, we don't. And we've made up an arbor so we can use them on the verticals if need be. We don't really use them that much. It's very rare, but they're here, and we just keep them, I guess.
Yeah. Cool in the rack.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nice organization.
Yeah. And over there we've got a lot of different fixturing and special tooling for certain jobs. Again, when they pull up a program for a job, it'll say, look for fixture box on shelf, and everybody knows to go over there and find it. And that's all. There's a spreadsheet on the computer, so they know at least what drawer it's on or shelf, so they're not having to dig through all of that.
Is a lot of this organization stuff you're doing, or was that?
It's kind of evolved over the years.
Yeah.
A lot of it was here. We did it back before I owned it, and then we just kind of try to keep it up. And there's more that we'd like to do for sure, but it's hard to.
Yeah.
The people that need to do it, it's hard to pull them off a machine to do a project like that, and they're the ones that that know what they need and where it should be. And
right.
So,
what's your? Do you have a project in mind that you're talking about? Like, what would be the next big organization project?
Probably right over in this area, just to kind of. There's a lot of fixturing and tooling that's not used anymore.
Okay.
I mean, I can look at names on boxes up there, and I know there's some companies that aren't even in existence anymore.
Oh. Probably don't need the fixturing for that.
Yeah, so that's not going to come back. But we could get those out of there and spread that out a little bit and make it more organized. Mm-hmm. For a small shop, that's a big time saver and money saver, actually.
Just organization.
Otherwise, people are walking around looking for something, and like over by the small Campro, the operator over there, he took time and he put all his wrenches and things on a board.
Right.
All the, right down to the nuts and bolts he needs for clamps and things like that.
Yep.
Just so it's right there, it's visual. He knows if it's missing or what's going on. So
yeah,
that'd be another thing that we'd like to do by each machine. But
go 5S on it, or whatever they call it?
kind of, yeah. Yeah.
Kanban, and
Yeah.
they taught me about that in engineering school. So.
Yeah. There's value in it.
Oh yeah, for sure.
It's hard to, what I've found is it's hard to get people on board with that sometimes. They kind of have to do it their own way.
Right.
One person works a certain way, the next person works a different way, and
right. Do you assign them to a certain job or a certain machine, or there's all these jobs and then they just pick one and go with it, or how does that work?
yeah, they'll pick the job, and with certain exemptions, pretty much any job could run on any machine, but it might be more efficient to run it on particular machines, and they know that.
Right.
So the machining center operators kind of work together, and they'll look through the jobs and say, oh yeah, this kind of goes more on, like for example, the Kent or the small Campro, and whoever's running that day, that's what they work on.
Right. You ever crash this machine?
No.
No.
Knock on wood.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna come in here and mess things up for you.
Yeah.
Keep saying stuff like that.
Yeah. No, we've been fortunate.
Yeah. So when you started here, you were running machines.
Actually, no, I was up in the office.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I started up in the office and learned that end of it. The shop part I've just kind of picked up over time being here.
Okay.
So, yeah, again, I value our employees because
you rely on them for a lot of
I rely on them heavily when it comes to the shop aspect of the business.
Right. The gentleman that you bought the business from, he got to retirement age and wanted to get out of it, and it was just it made sense for you to buy it, I guess?
Yes, yeah.
Okay. I would assume that was quite the step to buy the business.
It was. I wasn't sure if I wanted to jump into that, but
And it's a huge commitment, right?
huge commitment, but the previous owner was very, very generous and worked with me, and he stayed on for a couple of years after we made the deal, just to help me through the process, and so I was very fortunate. He really gave me a great opportunity, and I'm very thankful for that.
Yeah, that's great. I know probably, I'm just off the top of my head, probably 4 machine shops in my area where it's, guys getting to retirement age, they want to sell the business, but they don't have somebody that would be an obvious guy like you to take it over.
Right.
There's a lot of machine shop guys that are, on that end of their career.
Yeah.
And probably really good opportunities to pick up a healthy business like that.
Right.
But,
and for a lot of the business owners, they've put their heart and soul into it already, and they want to see it continue in the same way and not be, bought up by a holding company or something. So, yeah, it's very, very nice when those deals happen and work out.
Yeah. Yeah, there's also just the opportunity of it, for some guy that's ambitious or something to pick up a business like that. Yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah.
If there's somebody watching this video and they're a guy in a shop, maybe they have skills in the shop, but they want to start their own business, do you have any advice for them?
I would say go for it. It's a great opportunity.
Yeah.
And if they have shop skills and people skills, definitely consider it.
Yeah.
It's very simple. Just take care of your customers, take care of your employees. Everything kind of fits together after that.
I imagine just taking that first step is kind of the hardest thing.
It is.
Like, people have, I'm sure you were in this boat too, you have a family or whatever, you got bills to pay, and you're going to take on some huge commitment to either get started to buy the equipment or buy the business. It just seems kind of scary to do.
It is. Yeah, there's some sleepless nights. Especially when, because business is always cyclical.
Right.
it's easy when things are going good and
Right.
everything, but when you hit a slow patch, it's stressful.
Right. Have you ever had to like lay guys off?
We have, but very rarely.
That's good. I'm sure that's hard.
Yeah, it is. And I avoid it at all costs.
Right.
We just went through a slow spurt. Like I would say last June, things kind of slowed down for us. And by the end of the year, it was real slow. And we avoided layoffs.
Right. Good for
And,
you.
I just told everybody, just use this time to fix vices, clean them up, get them loose again, organize your work area. Just little things like that will help us when things pick up again. Then everything is
Right.
working good, we can go.
Right. Ready to rip.
Yep. But yeah, I avoid layoffs at all costs if I can, and if it happens, it's usually, we start with a voluntary or like rotating, so no one person is impacted, I guess.
Right.
Kind of all share the.
Right. Spread it out.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's probably a good way to do it. Like being a business owner, I'm sure you end up working pretty long hours sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
What's like a normal week for you? How many hours would you say?
Normal is probably 50 to 60.
Okay. Yeah. And I'm sure at busier times it gets crazy.
Yeah. We used to work a lot of Saturdays.
Okay.
A number of years ago, well, actually during COVID, we kind of switched it where we went to flexible hours where, when guys had their 40 hours in for the week, they were done. So there's some that'll work 3 days and be off 4. They'll just put in a ton of hours.
Yeah. Do you still do it like that?
We still do it like that.
And that works better for you?
It works better than I thought.
Yeah.
And then if we do have overtime available, they get it done in, Monday through Friday, and they're not messing up their weekend.
Right.
So
that seems like it makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
Give the guys flexibility, like that's probably going to help you retain guys because they're going to have a hard time finding that flexibility.
Yeah.
And then if you get to work your same 40 hours out of it, it's a win-win.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's worked out a lot better than I thought.
Yeah.
And the guys are here long days, but once they're here and running, it's just more efficient to keep, maybe work a couple extra hours and finish that job instead of coming back in the next morning and trying to pick up where they left off, kind of thing.
Right. Yeah, because starting and stopping takes time.
Mm-hmm.
So a longer day, you're going to have less effect of the getting started and stopping.
Yeah.
So do most of your guys do that? They'll cram in the hours?
A lot of them do, yeah. They'll work. A lot of them will work 4/10s.
Yeah.
Some will work maybe 4/9s and cut out early on Friday.
I think 4/10s is ideal. That seems to be like the sweet spot.
Yeah, that seems to be about the right amount of time to.
Yeah. Are you here 5 days a week?
I'm here 5 days a week.
6 days a week?
Sometimes. I'm usually here on Saturday for a couple hours.
Oh, really?
Just I don't know, catch up on a few things. And
yeah, it's probably nice to come in then when it's quiet and you're not putting out fires, right?
Right.
So just shipping and receiving. And some inspection back here too. Huh?
Yes, we have our inspection area over here.
Nice.
With
that looks expensive.
Yeah. CMM.
Nice.
And we've got a lot of our gauging and things all up here that the machinists come up and use those as they need them.
Yep. Nice.
And then from inspection, it goes to the shipping area here. And because a lot of our customers are local, we have our own truck. And
oh, okay. I was gonna say I figured that was the boss's truck, so your truck. But
yeah.
No, it's the shipping truck.
That's the shipping truck.
Okay. Now, how do you get work? Are you making calls, trying to pick up new work, or it's just a lot of established business?
A lot of established business.
Yeah.
We've been pretty fortunate that way.
Right.
We've picked up a few customers again by word of mouth. That kind of works better. Or there's been a few cases where somebody will leave a company and go somewhere else, and then they'll put our name out there. And we've had a lot of, because we've been here so long, there's kind of a lot of networking that way. We have tried calling and dropping off line cards and things like that, and it works sometimes, but it's hard to get. A lot of the buyers have their established vendors, and it's hard to break in.
Sure. Well, I appreciate your time.
Yes, thank
you.
you.
Cool to see you around. I just like hearing the stories and stuff of the business. So very good.